So life family, head coach for the Jets, Robert Saleh, on Zach Wilson, the starting quarterback. Kid's going to be a good QB, saying people in this instant coffee world want to see immediate results. Well, it has been a year and a half. Joy, you got interesting opinions on this. What's your take?
Oh, coffee doesn't take that long to make.
Yeah, like even non-instant coffee takes like 5 minutes.
Like a pot of coffee takes like maybe 2 minutes.
I got introduced to instant coffee.
Are they talking about like the whole crushed beans?
I do my French press. It takes about 8 minutes, period, total.
I mean, that's like, and that is extreme. That's a lot. It's a process.
So Zach Wilson's development is taking too long?
I mean, also, do we want a good quarterback or we want a great quarterback? Because you pretty much need a great quarterback.
Well, if you got a great defense, you need a good quarterback. I don't think it's taking too long. Here's the issue with that comment is, in this instant coffee world, it's because these QBs are playing right now.
Right.
Like these young QBs are playing now. I think the average age without Brady is like 26. With Brady, I think it moved up to like 29, 28. So the QBs are playing now, so it's kind of like.
Is it instant coffee, or are people seeing what Burrow and Trevor and all these other guys?
And he's number 2.
Everybody else. Yeah, I think the problem is, like, quarterbacks are better younger than they ever have been. Justin Herbert is setting the league on fire statistically. Joe Burrow's in a Super Bowl in his second healthy year. So, Zach Wilson.
There's also just a lot of talent coming out of college. Quarterbacks are getting more reps. They're working with professionals at a younger age. They're training.
Right, the whole 7-on-7 world.
Right,
is
like you're more prepared by the time that you get to the NFL. There's more options here.
I think what's hard is, again, teams overachieving too soon. Like, I didn't think the Jets were going to be this competitive this year. No one did. And the fact that they are, it's like, you might want to hurry up and make that coffee, put that cream in.
Let's put that cream in there. Well, we got to hurry up and talk about the Minnesota Vikings. It was wild. I will be honest. I tuned out of the game because it was 30-0 early on. But then I tuned back in because the Vikings came storming back. Kirk Cousins, 417 yards in the second half, 4 touchdown passes, and somehow the Minnesota Vikings pulled off the greatest upset in NFL history when you think about the comeback. It was the greatest comeback the league has ever seen. Joy, what did you learn from the Vikings' comeback win over the Colts? I see a huge smile on your face.
I mean, I'm trying to decide how petty I'm going to be.
Just go for it.
Do it.
Well, first I'll say congrats to Kirk Cousins, because I'm no longer going to say he's not a clutch quarterback. I mean, that's the greatest comeback in NFL history. I don't care who the opponent was. That's impressive. It was a beatdown, and they said not today, so I have to give them credit. Second, I think we can very convincingly retire the conversation about grit being enough to coach an NFL team. Can we stop doing that now? Did I win that argument? That it's not enough.
It's looking good for you.
Not being afraid. It's looking good. It's in my favor that maybe that's not the best way that we should hire people. And then lastly, man, I feel bad for Matt Ryan.
You're Matt alone.
I can't, Will. I can't leave Matt alone. And, I mean, he's a part of the 2 biggest collapses historically in league history.
Matt doesn't play defense.
For context, Matt Ryan is Will Blackman's college teammate, just for everybody.
I mean, I think, I got a lot of respect for Matt.
He's part of it, yes. I feel bad that he's part of it. I agree. I do feel bad.
He's out there. He's out there.
Dave, talk to me. What was your biggest takeaway from the game?
You know what's funny? So, all right, the Vikings are a flawed team. They've gotten their butts absolutely kicked a few times. It's been a season-long debate about how good they actually are. I don't know how good they actually are in terms of the league's elite. The Eagles and the Niners and the Bengals and the Chiefs and the Bills. I don't know. But what I have to give the Vikings some shine just for the fact that they keep doing this and they keep winning. They are 10-0 in one-score games. This is the analogy I came up with. It reminds me of, like, when you distance run, you train at a high altitude, or like all of the best runners come from countries with crazy high altitudes. The Vikings are just playing this stuff on all Madden mode every single week. Like, they're making it as difficult as possible. And the fact that they keep winning is incredibly impressive. Like, this is the most chaotic, frenetic, cardiac arrest team. I'm just thinking ahead to the playoffs. Like I said, I don't know if they're better than the Eagles or the Niners or anybody like that. But, like, imagine fast forward a month and we're in the 4th quarter of a playoff game and it's tight. You think anybody on the Minnesota Vikings is going to be phased? They're just like, oh, okay. Yeah, like, I've never seen anything like this. I mean, think about the Bills game.
Yep.
Coming back from 30 down. Like, this team has been up against it so many times. I would like to think that will pay dividends for them in the playoffs, even if they're not one of the truly best teams in the league.
Joy, let me give you some vindication, if I shall, along with other people. What I learned, anybody who questioned the Jeff Saturday hire, you were right. The Colts have gotten worse every single week. Remember, his first week there, they beat the Raiders. But what happens in the second week against the Eagles? They blow a 13-3 lead, end up losing 17-16. What happened the following week? They lose by 7 to the Steelers. What happens the following week? The Cowboys mollywop them 54-19, including a 33-0 fourth quarter. What happens this last week? A historical NFL collapse. So if you look at the 5 weeks of ball for the Jeff Saturday Colts, a win by 5 points, a loss by a point, a loss by 7 points. You give up 33 points in the fourth quarter, lose 54-19, and then you give up the greatest comeback in the history of the National Football League. Anyone critical of that hire, congratulations. You were correct, if no other take than that one. But what else I learned? These Vikings like trouble.
Like trouble, man.
Bruh, now, I don't know if it's an African thing, but my friends, my Nigerian friends, so you like trouble, eh? Like, this one, you like trouble. That's how I feel about the Vikings. Like, them cats that do something stupid, be out way too late, texting the wrong person, so you like trouble. The Vikings love trouble. A +2 point differential, and they're 11-3 on the season?
Yeah.
11-3, Will, and they got a +2 point differential. These ones, they like trouble. Will, where do you stand?
They do like trouble, I must say. Playing against the Vikings when I was in Green Bay, like, that was the weirdest place to play. It was the weirdest team. It was the weirdest turf. It was the weirdest stadium. It was the weirdest locker room. First of all, as a visitor, the locker room was probably 3 miles just to get to the stadium. The cheerleaders would warm up in front of our locker room. We get to the field. Their mascot would ride his motorcycle right in front of us. I tore my ACL on that turf. We played there and the dome collapsed. Like, it is the weirdest place. It is the weirdest team. They even stole our quarterback at one point. And every year.
What do you mean they stole your quarterback?
Number 4. They stole our quarterback. And so this is a weird team. Every year we go into the season, and I tell myself, I even tweeted out that they're the dark horse. They're a dark horse because it's like, man, they have some pieces, and they're so close, they can surprise people. They have the pieces, they're so close, they can surprise people. Waiting for Kirk to do his thing. And so this year, it's like, okay, they have the roster, but now they got a new coach. It's like, okay, what's going to happen with this? And so on paper, they look outstanding, and they show games where they play phenomenal, and they show games where they get blown up by Dallas, and then they show games where they're getting blown up by the Colts, and they score 33 points and come back. So it's like I don't even know. I don't know about this team. I have no idea. But what I do know, what it does tell me is that when they are in like a rough situation, they do have the stars on the team.
Yep.
That can make it happen.
What matters more to you? What number matters more to you? 11-3, their record, or +2, their point differential through 14 games of the season? 11-3 or +2? What number means more to you?
I mean, I like 11-3.
What matters
yeah,
more
of course. And that's the difference, right? That's what you're talking about with liking trouble and it being weird. Finding ways to win games and winning in different ways is important. My question with the Vikings was never if they have enough talent. They have a very talented roster. It's, are they going to be able to do it when it matters, which was a big question for Kirk Cousins as well. You got to do it when it matters. And for the first time this season, as crazy as that game was, and as bad as the Colts have consistently been week in, week out, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know about these Vikings.
They're weird.
They're weird. Like, there's just something. It's something. They keep finding ways. And then when you get into the postseason, you got to take a team like that seriously. You cannot fall asleep on the Vikings. They're going to make you pay. And then for the first time this season, I'm like, all right, maybe I'll buy in a little bit.
+2 point differential. I mean, like, we've never seen anything like that for a team with this many wins. Yeah. If you won every game by a point, you'd have a better point differential than they have right now. And so, I mean, that's what I mean. It's hard to shake those memories of Philly and Dallas out of your head when you're talking about how far this team can go. But we're sure as hell not doing any segments about whether or not they're battle tested. So, like I said, like when you get into that situation, I can't write them off because nobody's going to be more ready for the pressure of the playoffs than these guys.
Right. This game was a great rep. You can't get reps like this. So
At all.
this is going to help them when they go further along. Like, hey, we're down by 24. They're like, it's all good.
It's all good. We've been down by more. But Jeff Saturday's not on the sideline in the future.
Man.
Coming up, Jalen Hurts, an MVP frontrunner. And now he's getting